All the laughs without the anxiety. Mike Klein presents My Jewish Parents.
Yes, it's a Jewish parent.
Wait a minute. I will say one of the very big things and the most scary things for me is all the guns. The
Violence.
the guns. This is a pandemic,
Well, the pandemic's over.
No, the pandemic,
especially in the South.
The pandemic of guns and how many people own guns and how many people are getting shot, and that's another thing I'm afraid of.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, are you worried about being in an area where there'll be a mass shooting?
Sure, of course, absolutely.
Well, I'm in an area we could be shot at any time. I'm in my car and driving. I could offend somebody, and then I'm going too slow with something. They could pull me over and shoot me.
Right.
They just killed a young kid, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Shot a bullet in a car, and it was a 4-year-old or something. I don't know the full explanation, but
right.
It's really pretty serious.
No, it's very serious.
There's a lot of temper tantrums going around, and it's pretty serious.
Anyway,
we need to really. I think a lot of people have problems, and they're taking it out on other people, and that's not good. That's not good.
What do you think the answer would be?
We have to.
The answer is to have more people that. Never mind.
We have to handle this. These guns. We have to have strong legislation. We can't live in a society like this. It's only getting worse and worse with the guns.
Right.
We have to understand that freedom and individual rights are important, but they can infringe on other people and be very dangerous.
Right.
We have to respect people, and we have to respect the law and order, and we have to respect our ability to control things, and that's important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll just always be at each other. Here's an example of. Let's go back to Israel and Palestine. Both people want to live in peace. The average Palestinian with a family and the average Israeli Jew with a family want to live in peace, to take care of their family, their children, and things like that. So we need to understand, how to work with each other. How to
okay, but that's one thing. But we need to have strong regulations on guns and the type of guns in this country, because it's not safe.
So, like a longer background check,
a longer one,
or no guns.
Well, that's a whole other story.
That's hard to do that.
Some countries have done that.
New Zealand did that. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, when they had that massacre in that island in that camp, she got rid of all the guns. She had people bring their guns in and paid them for their guns and got rid of the guns. Now, of course, that's an extreme measure. I don't think we can do that here.
Yeah.
But we can make it. We can make people more responsible with their guns and how they hold their guns.
And also, what's going on with the police, part of the... It's very complicated what's going on with the police and a lot of our black African-American citizens.
What do you think about the mayor in Baltimore and the governor fighting? Have you heard about this?
The mayor and governor?
So I guess the governor is just sick and tired of all the violence in the city.
Yeah.
And the mayor is upset because he's talking about it. And I don't know if they sat down and came up with some ideas. I don't know, because the violence is still happening. There's still a ton of violence in Baltimore City.
I haven't been paying attention to that, so I don't really... but I think that both the mayor and the governor in their own way, try.
Right.
And there are other forces at play in Baltimore that makes the job of the governor and the mayor impossible. So we got to look at the underlying issues, how the lives of people, jobs, services in the city, things like that. That's important. I wish someone would get together and work on that in a harbor and fix it up. It was so beautiful. And then suddenly it collapsed. It's not like people don't care anymore. So we will have to pitch in. We will. That's one of the things that impressed me when your mother and I were in China. We were a long time ago. We visited China. I think it was 2000. Year 2000. We visited China. And one of the things that impressed me about the Chinese is wherever you go, they were out there working. They were working. They were doing this. They were doing that.
Yeah.
They all had to work. I mean, the government forced them in many cases.
Right.
But it was still part of their culture was that they knew everyone had to chip in and do something and work.
Well, let me tell you. So 2 years ago, I was in Japan. And if you want to talk about, at this point, it has problems, Japan, a really healthy country in the way they treat each other. It's Japan. There's very little violence. There's a lot of respect for people. And when the big department stores open up, the CEO goes over to his or her employees, each one, and bows and says good morning and how are things going.
Every morning?
I don't know. I just witnessed it
when you were there.
When I was there, when this happened, and I mean, I felt so relieved being in Japan because I felt safe, but I still come from a country that's very paranoid about the violence, but I just couldn't believe, how they pulled that off. I don't, it's just really amazing.
So you were impressed that people care about people there, and you think people in America don't care about people?
Well, I don't know what you mean by care. I mean,
well, if you're saying the CEO walked in there and bowed to them,
it's their culture, how they treat each other.
They're more respectful of each other.
Yes, it's their behavior.
They're more respectful. They listen to each other. They're more respectful. There's no guarantee that you have a right to do something. You're part of a group of people. So you're not only always looking at what you want, but you're looking at how is the people in the group, how's my family being taken care of.
Right.
And that's something I think that makes a difference.
And now I know they're having problems with, because so many elderly now, but they support the elderly. They respect the elderly. I mean, and it was just very refreshing being there. And it was really hard to return to this country.
Right. So talking about back up to Maryland real quick, did you know that the governor is launching a $2 million lottery for people to get vaccinated?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that? It's going to be $40,000 a day and then $400,000 could be awarded to them on the 4th of July.
I think I'm going to sign up for it and get another shot.
Me too.
Wait, so we can't get it, right? If we've already gotten vaccinated?
It's all right. I won't tell.
No, we can't get it. No.
What the hell's that? I mean, then I don't want to be vaccinated. I already got vaccinated.
Oh, come on.
I want some of this money.
Come on.
You know something? I have whatever helps people get vaccinated, which protects other people and helps our society, is okay for me.
It's not only our society. The whole world has to be vaccinated.
So, I can see, bribing people, but, sometimes that works. Sometimes that works. So I think it's not a bad idea. I think
I think it's a good idea.
Going to spend money somehow, at least spend it on health and security of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Public health,
Yeah,
so I guess that makes sense. So they're going to waste $2 million on this.
No, I don't think it's wasted. You know something? You only asked half the question.
What do you mean?
You asked only half the question. The other thing that I think Hogan was doing was that if under 18, children under 18, he would put their name up for a scholarship to go to community college for 2 years.
Well, community college should be free.
Well,
it's not free right now.
It's not free right
kidding,
now.
I'm joking.
I know.
No, a lot of people believe that.
He's going to give the 2-year scholarships if you get a shot and a vaccination.
I think that's good.
Too. And that's really, I mean, there are a lot of good things. I don't agree with everything Hogan does, but there are a lot of good things. You know something about Hogan you may not know, and the people listening to this podcast may not know, is that his father was in county executive in, I think, PG County.
Yeah.
But, his father was a big politician, a big Republican. And his father was one of the first Republicans that spoke out against what was going on by Richard Nixon and what he was doing and what Richard Nixon was doing in terms of the break-in and enemy lists and all the corrupt things that he did. And it's just really interesting. I mention it because the Governor Hogan, his son, speaks out against what Trump has been doing. So you see, family matters. You learn things in your family, how to behave and what's appropriate. We got a good guy. Hogan's a good guy. We're lucky.
Well.
So there's a new study saying that parents push off the chores they hate to their kids.
Oh, come on. What kind of
Did you guys like taking out the trash? Because you made me take out the trash all the time when I was a kid.
Is that all we made you do?
That's a lot.
Oh, come on.
We lived down a big hill. What else did you have me do? Anything else?
Come on. Well, you know what? You were very interesting. I remember every snowstorm we had, and we had this long driveway. You were out there, and no one had to ask you.
Trying to hustle for some cash, and I didn't get any.
And you shoveled.
Trying to send it to my Cash App. There wasn't a Cash App back then, but
we
there should
didn't
have
have
been.
that. We didn't have that.
Well, she had the Cash App.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah.
Did I get any money for that? I can't remember.
No.
What the hell was I doing that for free? See, that should have been
free.
You should have. You should have stopped.
Did you live in the house?
I didn't live in everyone's house on that block.
You are what we call a socialist shoveler.
That's ridiculous. That should have been stopped early on. I blame you guys for that.
You shoveled the snow for the socialist welfare
That's
of
terrible.
your parents in the community.
Oh, because I wanted to get out. That's why. I think I remember now. I wanted out.
I don't know. No.
Oh God, I still have flashbacks of being scared to live in an area where it's not plowed.
I hope you don't do that in Baltimore. Shovel the snow.
They don't. In Baltimore, they didn't plow the roads.
Geez.
They did it?
That little small snowstorm, they didn't plow the roads.
Wow.
They plowed the parking lot next to the train station. Oh boy, they were ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get in the damn thing.